Yeah, thanks for that introduction. So, I go to Harvard now. And it's pretty nice, I'm not going to lie. We've got a nice campus with all these old red brick buildings with ivy on them, and there's senators and CEOs and nuclear physicists just walking around randomly everywhere. And I live in a suite that's like bigger than a Laura. It's really nice. It's awesome, actually, and I love it. But there's one thing I miss about high school. You get to thinking about this stuff, and I realized, you know what I miss about high school? Euchre. You see, nobody down at Harvard plays cards. Like, maybe a little bit of Texas Hold'em every now and then, but certainly not euchre. And it's a shame. Because euchre is the perfect game. Euchre is poetry, and symmetry, and divine justice, all rolled up into a half deck of cards and dealt out on the cafeteria table. It's beautiful. We can learn from euchre. And we do. Euchre teaches us so much about life, about the world, and most importantly, about other people. I always used to say you could learn more about a person from one game of euchre than you could from talking to them for your entire life. It's a lot more fun, too. And euchre teaches, this is a big one. Euchre teaches us how to cooperate, how to work with other people, understand other people. And it teaches us how to forgive. How you could be furious at someone 1 minute, especially if they lead Trump. Don't ever lead Trump! I hate that! You put down the right bound and then have to waste the... See how angry it can make you? Euchre teaches us to let go of that anger, to move on in peace to the next hand. It really is transcendently significant. Think about it. First of all, euchre is an incredible mixture of the old and the new. Tradition and change, because in one sense, the game of euchre hasn't changed in decades, centuries. We play by the same rules as our grandparents did. It's a ritual. But at the same time, it's new. It's fresh every game. Every time you deal out a hand in euchre, you're starting on a whole new adventure. And every time you play a game of euchre, you make it your own. In that way, it's a lot like our run through high school. You can probably see where I'm going with this. We started out in an old building, full of history, dripping with history. There was history flaking off the walls. And to watch where you're going, you'd trip over some history. Every time you'd walk down that squeaky blue hall. Remember the squeaky blue hall? You could hear, if you listened really close, the squeaky blue footsteps of long ago echoing ever so gently in the background. And of course, we made it our own, the way any high school class does. We were getting into a pretty good groove. And then out of the blue, at the beginning of grade 12, guess what? You know what? I remember our first day at the new school, the very first minutes. My bus got in a little late that morning, so I walked in and the caf was jam-packed and it was overflowing. And so I crowded in with a bunch of people at the back, and nobody really knew what was going on, which would become a recurring theme for the year. Until finally, Mrs. Scott... Until finally, Mrs. Scott stepped up to speak. Our principal came up to the microphone, and I'll never forget the inspirational words she said to us that morning. She said to us, or at least that's what it sounded like to me. I don't know, I was in the back, but I'm sure it was beautiful. Anyway, my point is, we were thrown into this brand new school with nothing. I mean nothing. No lockers, no caf, no library, no gym, no paint. We didn't even have a talking locker. Frankly, I don't know how we got through it. One thing that period did make us realize, though, was how much we needed Chef Mowat. Chef Mowat, I don't think it would be exaggerating or unreasonable to say that he is the best cafeteria chef in recorded history. I lived off those cookies. And so when I think back to those dark days, the first couple weeks with no caf, and we didn't even have quesadillas to satisfy us, what did we turn to? Euchre. Euchre was the factor, the link to our past that kept us sane while our gym was sinking. Euchre was our monument, our flag, our war cry in the face of fire alarms and chemical leaks. I used to say that if I was playing euchre with my friends and the roof started to cave in over the cafeteria and chunks of plaster were falling down and crushing the tables, we probably would have at least finished the hand first. Yeah. We played euchre and it was more than just a card game. It was a purifying ritual. I contend that euchre for us became a spiritual experience. Like meditation, only with more shouting. Now, some of you are probably thinking right now, but Markus, and I know you're thinking it in that exact voice too, but Markus, don't you think you're taking this euchre thing a little too far? It's just a card game. And a lot of us never even played it. This is true. A lot of us never really got into the whole euchre thing. And most people probably don't take it quite as seriously as I do. In response to which I say, shut up, shut up! Who's giving the speech, huh? You or me? Yeah, that's what I thought. Jerks. No, you're right. There was more to our high school than euchre. There was Hold'em, for instance. And Chase the Ace. Remember Chase the Ace? Good times. And I guess there were like classes and activities and sports and stuff too, if you were into that kind of thing. All right, no, I'll be honest. I don't know about you all, but I had some incredible teachers here. I had some teachers who motivated me, personally, to reach way higher than I ever thought I could. Everybody's got a story or two like that. So instead of making you listen to my boring stories, I want you to think of your own. There's got to be somebody in the past 4 years or so who helped you out when you were in trouble. There's got to be somebody who took you by the shoulders and pointed you in the right direction when you were lost and confused. Maybe it wasn't a teacher. Maybe it was a coach, a counselor, a family member, or a friend, someone you met at your co-op, someone you knew from town. Maybe it was a bunch of people. I don't know. But you can't get this far on your own. You can't. And the reason we're all here, the reason we all made it through this crazy trip is that we had a community behind us. And I know that's a fruity word. I don't care. We have a community that supports us, gives us strength when we need it, gives us love. It gives us compassion. It gives us hope. The 40 grand in award money isn't too bad either. No, really. We've done some incredible things with the support of this community. We sent a mission trip to Honduras. We lobbied the government for human rights. We put on some really incredible plays. We've got bands that deserve national recording contracts. We've got teams that won a ridiculous number of championships. We've done a ridiculous amount of other stuff that I can't even think of right now. I'm a cynical guy, so I don't like to say this, but looking back, I got to admit, we're pretty good. And you know, it doesn't matter what I think, because it's all in the past now. We've played out this hand. We graduated. We win. 10 points. Game over. Put away the deck. And you can get sentimental about it if you want. You can have big, weeping group hugs at your after parties and be like, oh, we had such good times, and I'm going to miss you guys so much, and blah, 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 blah. But I'm not going in for that. This isn't a funeral. Man, it's the future out there. Do you know how much time we have? Do you know how much potential we have? It's all laid out for us. The cards have been dealt. All we got to do now is pick them up and play. So I guess what I'm saying is, let's make our bids already. Thanks, Senate Wellington. Have a good night. You get to stay here.
The Valedictorian Award is donated by Ron Wilkin Jewelers and will be presented by Kelly Shaw to Markus Kolic. Markus's name will be added to a plaque displayed here in the school.
Markus, you continue to amaze me. Your zest for life, your love of learning, your many talents, and your personality. I would be hard-pressed to think of anybody who could represent this class any better. On behalf of the class, I'd like to thank you and present you with this gift.